Hello everybody. Welcome to my beautiful channel. Um, this kind of was inspired by watching some of my recent videos on like beauty standards and how women treat each other, accepting yourself, and all that good stuff. So today, this video is about why women get jealous of other women, because this is something that I've really been trying to fathom, or I've been trying to put together in my head for the last week or so. Um, this is kind of like, because it's been a red flag for me as well, because I noticed that when I'm single, I'm really fine with womanhood. I'm really like, yeah, let's all love each other. Let's be all empowered. And like, yeah, like you're quick to be like, you're cute. And like, let's share clothes type of shit. But I noticed when you add a boy into the factor, or when you start dating, then your whole mindset can change. It can be like, oh, I hate these bitches, or I hate these hoes, or I hate, it can totally contradict itself. And something like, I know I'm not the only one who deals with that, so I wanted to put this video up and maybe someone else can resonate with this. Um, but it's kind of like I want to kind of break down why this situation could happen, or what these problems stem from in our society. Um, a lot of times it's hard being a woman in general, and then trying to put other women in the mix, because like, if you know our society and how it works and how it really oppresses women and how it's oppressed women for so many years, and it still does in a lot of ways. 1 minute, you guys, my phone is always dying. If you understand how our society works and how it belittles women on a daily basis, just as far as like beauty standards, the always saying that to try to look more beautiful. There's a reason why women are always trying to get plastic surgery, trying to have makeup, or trying to always stay in shape to please the man or a man. So one of these reasons why I feel like women kind of get jealous of one another is because our whole existence is based to please men. Yes, I said it. It is based to please men. We live in a man's world. Um, but if you're smart, you know that women have all the power. But we'll get to that later. But no, for real. You're born, when you're young, you're born to believe that like everything you exist for is to please a man. So when you grow up, you must get educated. You must have a certain allure about you. You must be pretty. It's a sigh of relief when your parents have a pretty girl, because then her life will be better. So a lot of it is stemmed around beauty and wanting to please a man. And even now I experience a lot of conditioning still, that like, in order to keep a man, the woman has to do all the work. Or if a man cheats on you, then it's your fault. It's like all this stigma. And it's so hard to be a woman nowadays in society. It's always been hard, but it's very hard nowadays. And growing up with that teaching, that stems for like competition within women for men. So we no longer look at each other as like a sisterhood. We look at our existence as this thing where we have to compete with one another every day to get them, to basically get the men of our dreams. Even if we have a man, we still feel in like a competitive mode. Like, I gotta make sure my man knows that he has a good one, or I have to make sure that these bitches. Of course, we're trying to get out of the slut shaming and all that stuff, but or belittling other women. But that's the mentality we get into. We have to be like, okay, these bitches need to know who they're fucking with. And really, that's a very, very destructive way to look at other women, being as women are the most desirable creatures in existence, the most intuitive, the most beautiful, the most like powerful and magical creatures. And when they come together, they're the most powerful. But I think society has done a very good job at dividing us, because they know our worth and our power, where it lies. A lot of our power lies in our sexuality, but a lot of it also relies in how comfortable we are with one another and with ourselves. So I think the key is to become comfortable with ourselves as a woman, and then comfortable being around other women and being authentically, genuinely each other's friends, not in a jealous aspect. But it's really rare nowadays that you have friends that aren't frenemies, or that aren't terrible behind a man and how beautiful people deem us to be. Meaning, if a man does not see us, or a bunch of men does not see us as desirable, automatically our worth goes out the window. And that's so silly. That's actually a stupid thing to think, but that is something we are ingrained with again. And men believe this as well. They believe like if a woman isn't pretty enough to bring around their family or around their homeboys, then the girl isn't worth it. And our beauty does depict a lot of times in society how well we get treated as an individual, and that's a sucky thing too, because then now it's again all that pressure on being a woman. Now you have to be a pretty woman, and now you have to be fine enough to get treated correctly on a daily basis. And even then, you're still slut shamed and sexually assaulted on some occasions. Beauty is depicted as, you guys have a list here. Beauty is depicted as the end all be all. So like, again, a lot of times we feel jealous of other women because like we're in constant competition with one another to be pretty. And usually the girl who's the prettiest in the room gets the guy and gets at whatever she wants. And that's just always been depicted in all these high school movies and anything we can think of. We've always been depicted that. A lot of times jealousy stems from like you feel like you're lacking something a lot of times, which is very illusion based because you're comparing yourself to others. Basically, that's what's going on when jealousy stems, and you're saying that you're lacking something when really you're the whole package too, just in a different way. And this also can stem from being afraid of rejection and not feeling good enough. So a lot of this is about self-worth. But even sometimes the person with the most self-worth in the room can still be tainted with jealousy because of how our society has raised us to believe that women need to be competitive for men instead of like jobs or aspiring to be greater in different ways, like goals and careers, things like that. But I also think like when you go into a relationship with a boyfriend and you start feeling jealousy just out of nowhere, like, oh, is he looking at other women? Is he going to cheat? I feel like that can stem from the fear of losing him because, again, you kind of think of how much you have to do to get that man. And then, like, a lot of times, a lot of women are doing a lot of the same things to get a man, to get a man of means or to get the similar man that you wanted. And you feel like, oh, man, okay, I can lose that person at any given moment. So there's not really any security in that if you're just stemming off of looks or beauty or whatever the case may be, or if maybe you feel like that's all you have to offer, then you can reevaluate the whole situation. But sometimes men can also make you feel insecure because they know that women are a competitive edge for men all the time. And I think that they can grow to like the attention they get. But again, that's not really good because what we're trying to do is form a sisterhood of powerful women. And honestly, empowered women can't come about by being mean and hateful to one another. That's just fake power. Real power is a woman who's secure in herself and empowered and empowers other women. So empowered women empower other women. I know you guys seen that quote probably floating around somewhere. Another thing is like jealousy stems from the feeling of not being oneself. So again, if you're taught this whole lifestyle of, oh, you're only pretty, so just rely on your looks, or oh, your only worth is if a guy wants you and how much he wants you, if he has sex with you, all these things, your mind is pretty fucked up by now. Like you're coming from this aspect of like, damn, I can't even be who I am, or my man's gonna leave me, or I'm not worthy. So what the fuck do I do? You're just stuck in this limbo, or you're just in these situations that make you unhappy because someone said if you're worthy, a man will take care of you, or this or that, whatever the case may be. But another way we can fix that, obviously, is becoming centered in yourself and your self-worth and defining what that is for you. And honestly, if you take your beauty away and you take your clothes and everything else that they taught you to believe or care about, what would you feel comfortable doing? What would you feel comfortable in your essence? If you're completely stripped naked or raw of all these things, like, would you be happy? That's the only thing that we're looking for. And that's literally what we should be looking at it like, to understand ourselves to the deepest extent, to understand our self-worth. And that is always there no matter what. If you wear makeup, if you don't wear makeup, if you wear certain clothes, if you have a man, if you don't have a man, it's a constant thing. It's not something that's taken away from you just because you get a boyfriend or you lose some friends or whatever the case may be. This is a lot of information, you guys. Okay, so all right, so a lot of women fear to befriend a beautiful girl means to lose something or you feel threatened. So this far in the video, though, I want to know what you guys think about these concepts or what you think about jealousy and how we can go about solving these things. Because obviously, I don't have all the answers. I can just put out suggestions. Like this is to spark your interest, to start conversations that of things that need to be heard and need to be talked about so that we can make solutions. So like even myself, I don't have girlfriends at the time. It's not because necessarily I don't want it, because for a long time I wasn't even dating anyone. I was very solo dolo. And I just became comfortable in that. But like a lot of times I notice when I have girlfriends, it's the same things. It's either stem from jealousy, hatred. If it's not jealousy and hatred from the other person, it's from me growing up and being younger and naive and believing like I was lesser than, or now it's just a matter of just having acquaintances that I left from afar. But I yearn for a sisterhood just like anyone else. But it's just about getting past these things that we've been conditioned to think. Even like I feel like a lot of girls feel like, oh, you have to be gay and lesbian to be close to women. But then that's not necessarily the case. I feel like you can have friendships that are even like affectionate for friends and not be mean romantic. Let's see. So a lot of it stems from a competition who is more desirable or likable. So like, again, a lot of us can't be friends with other women because we feel like it will threaten our desirability for other people or other men to get what we want or what we need out of life. And that tends to start envy and a competition of like who can be more beautiful. And yeah, it's just too much power given away to outside sources instead of like think about it. The person who's comfortable in themselves, they don't give a fuck and they're always comfortable and they're never swayed and they feel like they're beautiful no matter what. And honestly, I think we need to understand that beauty isn't everything. It isn't the end all be all. And if we come from the space of like, you know what, I have damn more things to offer than my beauty. I have more to offer than what I wear or the sex I get or the men I get. If you understand that you have way more to offer than that, then no one can make you do anything. No one can make you feel a type of way. And honestly, it doesn't, I would say it's working towards goals like degrees and things like that. But even without that, you have to understand that your worth is constant. Like, even the process, you're worthy more than your looks anyway. All right, so a little bit more on how we can fix these issues is like, be secure in oneself. You're more than your looks, and brains plus beauty. So find things that like interest you, like your hobbies, that you can nerd out over, or like hobbies that you feel like you can master, things that you can put your energy to besides just your beauty. Like it's fun to play with your beauty, don't get me wrong, because I like to play with it. Like I've been looking more into glam things and becoming more girly and feminine because that's just what I like. And I like the art of seduction and I like playing with this realm as a woman. I love being a woman. But sometimes we need to take a step back into like nurture our brains and just reading books that we like, or taking part in hobbies that like we like, or just doing things that make us feel happy. Just do things that make you feel more worthy than just your looks. Like understand every day, like even if you have to list some things, like what do I like besides my looks? Like I like how smart I am. I like how funny I am. I like the fact that I'm lighthearted, or I laugh all the time, or that I can dance, or that, find things that you enjoy besides how you look, or even how men see you. Like we really have to get out of this mentality that men determine who we are, what we are, and if they don't want you, then that you ain't shit. Like that's totally not the case. And honestly, your opinion matters more than anybody, even a man's. So yeah, understanding your power and where you're coming from today. If you have any suggestions on what you want to hear, or even your input on this video, I would like to hear it. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy your day. Be dope, be you unapologetically. Peace.